just like prison politics and that, you've been around that for a long time, where if people argue with something, they try to get you to side with them and don't talk to him. And I know how it is in there, and I've only done a fraction of the time you did, but you doing all that time you've seen so many different personalities, you've seen so many petty beefs and people making up shit about other people to get you to side with them and against them. I can only imagine that. I think that pretty much shapes a lot of who you are now, where you're like, hey, unless someone really does something really, out of pocket, then,
Egregious.
Egregious.
Do you like it? Right. I had a phone call from prison yesterday. No, it wasn't from prison. It was from Jake Scali. He wanted to cut somebody's head off yesterday. I talked him down off the ledge.
He did. He knows me. So dude, I respect everything this guy says. I know he's been through it, and any advice he's given me, I know he's been there with people and stuff, so I listen to him. He calmed me down.
Yeah.
We need that sometimes.
I was gonna ask you too, like Johnny, like do you think that you learn more about like people and stuff like on the outside or on the inside? Because you spent like so long. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean it's really. I mean, I would say in both environments. If there was just both environments, I'm saying this is the same environment, right? So that's just a microcosm of the macrocosm, right? Society you have out here is just a microcosm in prison, right?
Yeah.
So the same people that are out here come in there. But I just think that it's just age. I think age, you become a little more wrinkly in the face and, but you get a little wiser between the ears. Not so much Mike because Mike still got some of them. He's got some real... he got some hardcore beliefs. I respect that about Mike too. You know what I'm saying?
He stands on business.
It's just
everything.
one way with him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
he calls me on it. You call me on it. You'd be
but
like,
your friends do that, right? I'm saying
your friends
do that. Your friends try to say, and you're not talking about it in front of a million people. We are talking about it in front of a million people, right?
Hopefully, like you say, our life's an open book. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, why'd you talk about that?
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is listen, I need it too because I always say that. You can have the best laid plans in your whole life, but when it comes down to it, like I had somebody, get not my face, but like in a car, like pull up to me, my heart started pounding. But I'm like, and then, as the car drove away, I'm thinking to myself, like my whole life could have just changed right there. And I'm the guy that's going to prison, so I just think that listen, me and Mike and, I know, Bobby as well, you probably, even though you haven't been in prison, we've all had them moments where like, this wasn't worth it. Why did I do this? And it's every time that you do stuff like that, that's how it ends up.
Just dig yourself deeper in the hole.
Yeah, you gotta catch yourself.
It's funny when you got someone like Johnny saying to me, oh, you still have some prison mentality. And I think I'm so far removed from it because I've been out since 2011. Even that bid, it was only 2 years. It was a House of Correction bid. Yeah. But still, and he'll say stuff. And I think, that's so far in the rearview mirror because I don't even really get mad anymore. Unless someone puts their hands on me, really. Or people can say like whatever. I mean, but if someone does something, I kind of like, I remember the kid Kyle Gianelli, I named my sober house after, rest in peace, Kyle. He said to me, Mike, are you still mad at me? And I saw him one day, and I was mad at him over some nonsense, Sometimes I'm mad at someone, I'm not talking to them for 3 years, and someone will say, what'd they do? And I'm like...
I don't remember.
Yeah, what is it? I'll say, I don't know, but it was something bad. So I'm still not talking to them, And he said, I'm glad you're not mad at me. He goes, because Mike, you hold a grudge like a can of Pepsi. And that's something I have where I'll, someone will do something, and I'll stay mad over nonsense, and I won't even know what it is after a while. So, hey, we all got stuff we got to work on, right?
No doubt. Listen, 100%. So listen, Jake and Bobby, how's this place? Nice, right?
I love it.
For Larry and Revere. Got to give a shout out all the time to Chris.
No, shout out. I'm coming back here and eating. This place is beautiful, dude. I love it.
The delicious too.
The energy.
The pasta was good. Yeah. The espresso. The aesthetics.
I'm geeked out.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Chewing your teeth like
I love it.
Bees in your mouth.
It's the best, right? You got teeth shrapnel flying.
Yeah, the food's real good here.
You guys said you've acquired a taste for coffee later on in life?
Yeah, I did. I never liked it before, dude. I don't know why. And then I feel like just getting in recovery and stuff like that, I just always liked to be more awake, so I'd have higher energy and everything, so I just started slugging espressos.
It's funny, I never was a coffee guy either until, in jail and prison. You know what I mean?
But I'm not a coffee guy. I'm an espresso guy. Like, I love
I hear
you take the shot and then you're good to go.
Listen.
I don't like sipping.
Cut to the chase. Yeah. No cut.
That's how I like when I used to drink. Like that's what I would do. Like I would just take a shot. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I
started drinking coffee in jail myself. Plymouth.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I
started drinking it black because
it's
my mother poor woman. She never had much money, but she did what she could. So like the creamer, the sugar, that was all extra.
That was
You know what I mean?
extras,
That wasn't a necessity. Like it was the coffee, the couple soups, the oatmeals. But I haven't looked back since, man.
How long's it been, Bob?
Great.
What, since I've been drinking coffee?
Since you've been out, locked up?
I've been out. So I've been out of prison since 2011. I got out in 2011. Went back to Bill Ricker for 90 days in 2018. Caught a little case. Got in a fight, but
seemed like forever, right? After being out 7 years or whatever. And
absolutely, it was a
6
good
years.
reminder though to know that those places they're not going anywhere. They'll always
Still
have a bed
exist.
open for you. I don't care how overpopulated they say they are. They'll find you a bed, bro. That's for sure.
I mean, we could always do it 90 days, but imagine right now, Johnny, all the time
No.
you did, the time I did,
Nope.
all this going back to
Not a
90
fucking-
days,
not-
it'd be like,
I don't know
your
how I
whole
did it.
life
Probably
just-
feel like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like you're just
yeah.
waiting every day. Feels like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Every
it
day
felt like
feels
double
a
the
month.
time. I tell you that much. Those 90 days felt like a good 6 months. You
Because
know.
you're thinking about you when you get out every day. It's not like you got 5 years. You're like, all right, I'm not thinking about getting out for 3.5 years, and you start thinking about you getting close. But doing 90 days, you like in the movies, right? You get the calendar, X amount of fucking days.
But I wasn't even. I was just pre-trial. You know what I mean? They gave me on a dangerousness hearing until they gave me a bail, so I had to sit for 90 days. And then even when I got out, it was house arrest. So I still was preparing, like I might have to go back and do a little bit of time. But fortunately, the judge saw that I got out in 2011. This was 2018. The judge is like, yeah, he's got a long record, but it's all kind of when he was younger. He hasn't been in any trouble in a while, and he gave me probation, and for the first time in my life, I completed a probation.
I've never.
That's probably one of the bigger accomplishments in my life. But
hopefully,
I
that's
never
what,
thought I'd be.
hopefully,
good
that's
candidate.
what Johnny's going to be saying someday. That he
Absolutely.
completed his probation.
Right now, it's just waiting for permission to go to Colombia. That's
Yes,
There you
I'm
go.
trying to take Johnny to the fucking promised land.
I mean, everybody always calls it a
Promised
setup, but it's like it's a setup. Yeah, if you're still living that life, if you're doing crime and you know what I mean, don't want to.
Yeah.
Put down the drugs and alcohol, whatever it may be. Yeah, sure, it's a setup, but usually if you're not getting arrested, you should be fine.
Yeah, I had a friend that just got out recently, and he's done a lot of time, and he could have really just got buried, and he got the break of his lifetime. He only did 3 years, and it was in New Hampshire, and he's got a record. He's got like 4 state bids in Mass. Always doing crime and a lot of crazy stuff, and he got out and he's calling me. He's like, hey, I need a ride. I'm like, oh, do anything. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to get my weed card. And I'm like, is that your first order of business? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, guy, you got another lease on life. You know what I mean? And then, I heard somewhere that he drank. So I told him, don't drink if you don't want to do the coke afterwards. It's just like,
One thing leads to another.
man, I want to. I'm not trying to preach. Guys in my sober house smoke weed and they're on medication, but it's like when it's a friend like your close friends, when you get out after 27 years, if you're like, I want to go out drinking, I'm sure they would have been like, oh man, fucking,
No
Johnny,
bueno.
Johnny's out drinking. You think that's the fucking best move? You know what I mean? And but it's kind of a letdown when you got a good friend. You're like, oh man, you just wish he'd be like, you know what? I'm not doing nothing. You know what I
Never,
mean? For
yeah,
a fucking year, I'm just gonna
I
get
can
my
ruin my
life
whole
back.
life
Yeah.
if I wanted to, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Get your
yeah, it's
mind
definitely
right.
not worth it. Jake, you know what though? I seen that you did a little clip in Murph's gym today, right?
see it?
I
So,
saw that.
but you
Yeah,
know
I
what the
didn't see
thing
that.
is, the what I've watched when I've seen you before we even met, I always was really into your stuff, and now I can see it really blowing up. Talk about Danny for a little bit.
So, like,
we always want to know about you, right?
Stair climb.
What I've been
I
trying
did see
to
it.
what I've been trying to do with it too is like when I go into a place, and I feel something like Murph's Gym, dude, is like fucking. It's a place where blood, sweat, tears, all of that. Like it's real, like fucking that gridiron shit that you don't get at Planet Fitness or any of that
Yeah,
other
real
stuff.
gym,
Yeah,
real
there's
gym
pit
is
bulls
it,
walking
yeah.
around. This dude's picking up fucking massive. I'm like, holy fuck! But when I go into a place or anything, I see it for what I see, and I want to create that feeling when people watch it, so they they gravitate toward it. So now people watch it. Oh, this gym's fucking badass. They'll want to go. So I'm trying to show everything in the background with Danny there, just to highlight local businesses and stuff,
I think you've always been good at making a little bit. I remember it's like seeing you and Tommy Greeno video. I'm like, and it was when I first started knowing them. I'm like, is that the Poppy Kicks? I didn't know. You know, with the fucking pots and pans on your
Yeah.
head now behind the
Oh
couch.
my
I'm like,
God.
And I remember talking to
The Uncle Dino days.
and the Beer Man guys, and I'm like, yeah, that kid's funny. Huh? That
I
kid
love
from
Beer
Scali,
Man.
You know what I mean? So I didn't really know you at the time. Then you started following each other, but I always thought you were fucking funny.
I appreciate
now
that.
that you created this, you just ground and pound it, right? It's doing
Yeah.
good. It's getting a lot of traction, the views.
Been working more on recovery and stuff too, which is
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. Dude.
You
I
helping somebody in recovery today?
I got my buddy Noah Lawler from Charleston. I'm
yeah, I got-
sponsoring him.
Kid's a good kid, right?
Yeah, he's a wicked good kid, dude.
You know what's funny is like, you're like, oh, he's doing great. He's got 5 days sober, this and that. And I remember in early recovery, I had whatever it was, whether it was 30 days, 60 days. I'm like, oh, I only got 30 days. And it was Mickey Wood and a guy, Tucker Hardigan, and Tucker said to me, Mike, guys like us can't put together 30 seconds.
Yeah.
He's like, you got fucking 30 days or 60 days, whatever it was at the time. He's like, be fucking proud of that.
Yeah.
It's not something to take lightly. You know
I
what
tell
mean?
them each day is a new obstacle. You're gonna feel all these different things, but like I'm here for you because I've been through it, and I've been having this kid at my house with my family and stuff. I'm taking him everywhere because I just want to be there for him. Because sometimes it's a full-time job. People need people to hold people accountable, and that's the one thing I never really had anybody to hold me accountable. So if I could give this kid my wisdom of all that shit I went through and carry it over, that'd be fucking
Crazy you're saying that. Some young kid reached out to me, and I know him, and he's been struggling. I took him out like last week, and then I messaged him like once. I gotta fucking call him tonight. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's what another person reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, can you come speak at this meeting? I go, I was taught not to say no to that.
Yeah, you can't say no.
And he goes, all right, it's in West Bridgewater.
I know, yeah. Somebody asked me before, there was one in Neshoba, New Hampshire. I'm like, wow, really? Okay.
Especially too, he's a Charlestown kid. We all gotta look out for each other, and
yeah.
I see a lot of myself in him. Like he's smoking the dust and doing the beans. He was on the dope before.
Dust.
So.
The dust is a must, so the brain won't rust.
Yeah,
Tough stuff.
You need
Diesel
5
fuel.
days before you could get to 5 years, though. You can only do it one day at a time. So
Yeah,
even the 30
100%.
days, I'm sure there's thousands
What about
of
you?
people.
You're
that would
in
love to.
recovery?
No, I'm not in recovery.
Yeah.
I grew up, my mom was an addict. She still suffers from all
Yeah.
that. So luckily, I never got into, anything serious. You
Right.
know, I've tried damn near everything, but I never got into like
Pretty
serious
crazy how
stuff.
you
You know
grow
what I
up
mean?
all around. Like some people, like
Yeah,
the
just
parents use,
doesn't
it's
take
like,
hold.
It
Yeah.
is,
and then,
yeah.
and some people just dodge the bullet. It's like they don't have that fucking gene. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
addictive thing. Like,
Yeah.
I always
know
bring
I
it back to there was this one point in time where I had the opportunity to, and I kind of wanted to, and just an older friend of mine. Maybe he was just being greedy, didn't want to share, but he's like, I'm not gonna be the first one, and then
Yeah.
that
I've
was
done
about
that.
it. My whole life could have been different, so I always salute him for that, man, because you never know. Things
Yeah.
could have went a whole, and then 30 minutes later, my other body's throwing up and all
Yeah.
that. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm glad I didn't do that. You know what I
one
mean?
of those
happens for a
crossroads
reason.
in
Yeah,
life
exactly.
where you're like, oh, if I went that way, who knows? Probably not
Exactly.
be here.
Yeah, and I think
I'd probably say definitely not.
a couple
be
of
here,
those kids have passed away since then. So
Yeah,
you know
even
what I
if
mean?
even if you weren't dead, your life would have just took a whole different trajectory, and it wouldn't
worse.
have been.
I always
Suffering.
think of that. I'm like, what would my life have been like if I never stopped? Like I would have
Yeah.
fucking. I would have been dead.
Most likely dead.
Probably.
You know what
I would have died.
I always say I'd definitely be, in
Suffer.
prison or dead. One or
Even
the
if you
other.
don't die, you suffer.
Yeah, before the grace of God go I, dude. I'm just
No
happy
question.
to be here, man. You know?
Absolutely.
You know what? Go ahead,
Oh,
Bob.
it was making me thinking about it, and I think I was talking with Noah too about like when we were watching that fight and getting a knockout or winning something like that, and I was thinking about like that's a high you can't buy,
Yes.
man.
No,
like
no.
that's
Yeah.
got
I
to be
always
better
think
than
of
any
that.
drug
Yes.
or anything
Sitting
in the
on the
world.
cage,
Putting in all
100%.
that work.
Yes.
Because
Right?
look at all
Yeah.
it's not the instant gratification. There's so much blood and sweat,
You
tears
work
had to
for
go
that
into
shit.
everything, and then to have that moment in front of all those people, like I'm like that's got to be a hell of a high, right?
a rush,
man,
dude.
you
What about the guy that loses and goes back and trains and then, comes back
Hey,
better?
but
That's
every-
even
That's the
tougher.
That's
bounce
what it
back.
is,
That's
bro.
what the
That's
bounce
the
back's
bounce
about.
back's all about.
And everyone needs to have that guy. There has to be the guy that loses and he comes back. And if they don't, they don't. But if they do, it's a great story,
So, but I wanted to talk to you because Mike said something, touched on it, but it made me think of that.
Yeah.
What about negative comments, right? So, me and you had talked about there's people that have said stuff about you about why you doing that, why you doing this type of stuff.
All the time.
Makes people look bad. But in the way that I explained it to one person is that. Like when you're nodding out, like, and you say all those things, like, there was all these guys around me, like, and they're so stupid. Like, I don't know why this guy was trying to do that. Like, really, if the guy that's bent over, fucked up, he's the stupid guy,
Yeah,
right?
that's the whole
of course,
point.
That's the point
And
of it.
he's just
But
blaming
you
everybody like
and
addicts
you
do.
just
That's
think
the
that
whole-
you're the smartest guy, and no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing about addiction. You think like everybody else stupid. You're getting over on everybody. But you're just lying to yourself.
And everyone
So
knows.
But I wanted to touch on that though a little bit because. Like, I think it's a positive thing, you know what I'm saying? And now
Yeah.
you're even working for Eddie McGrath over at
Rockland
Rockland
Recovery.
right?
Shout out Rockland
So
Recovery.
love
If you
it.
need
He's
help,
the
hit
best.
up Rockland. We'll
And,
take care of you.
Matty Powers, Power Recovery,
Power
right across
Recovery.
the street here. Guys
Hit them
that
up.
are, taking recovery seriously and doing things. Mike with the sober houses, you know what I'm saying? And it's a profitable business, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is we need to incentivize, people getting sober and having help at their disposal. I think for the longest time there was no funding for it, right?
Nothing.
And you
It was
didn't
all
really
private
have
funding.
adequate care. But I just think that when when you can profit off something, it's nice, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
we all need to pay our bills, right? So that's a great
1000%.
thing, you know. I'm getting $20 an hour for doing something that I would do for nothing, that I'm working part-time for Maddie over there across the street, and it's a great thing, and you get to help people.
That's
like
the
that.
best part. Is
So the
helping.
best part. And the good part is money, too.
Yeah.
So I say
1000%.
win-win. You're helping people and you're making money. What the fuck?
1,000%. I was saying,
You know
like,
what I mean?
with this kid Noah, even seeing him get 5 days, dude, like, and just being clean and fucking with it, like, it's a better feeling for me than a video hitting fucking 2 million
Yeah.
views. Like, that feels more meaningful
Yeah.
than, like, you know what
Although
I've been
2
doing.
million views is nice.
2 million
I never
views
had
is
that.
nice. But no, I'm just saying, like, it's more meaningful. It makes me feel better about everything, you know?
Yeah,
when
your
you-
video is a hit.
When you hit
Thank
one
you.
of those videos and you're looking like, you know, I had one where it just, you know, triggered an algorithm or something.
Yeah.
Where it was like, you know, 20-something million, but it was like, I got like average like 1,000 followers a day for like 3 or 4 months straight.
Just going
like every
fucking-
time, and then it's like anything else, right? It's like doing drugs. It's like endorphins. Like I'm checking my phone.
Right,
like,
yeah.
oh, look at fucking, you know, 80
The well
followers
starts
in the last
drying up.
60 minutes. Like I'm counting the fucking, yeah, it gets crazy.
Yeah,
It
no,
gets
I've
crazy.
had it happen, dude.
Then
It's ups and
then
downs, like
Instagram
anything
just
in
wipes
life.
me out.
Yeah.
I started.
No, it is.
You know what I mean?
So listen, no question. I'm strung out like a research monkey on it. I know.
Yeah,
But that's where the boys get separated from men. If you can hang in there and shit and just keep doing what you love and what you're passionate about, that's where fucking real progress and growth
I've
is
said
made,
it a
you
few
know?
times. You know, I was at almost 300,000, like 291. And I keep getting something removed and shadow banned.
The enemy.
And like, yeah, the enemy. One
The
thing.
enemy.
One thing.
Fuck the
We're
enemy.
back on the shadow van.
Shadow war, Beanshooter's
Hey,
cold war
here's
on
Mike.
Instagram.
Here's Mike. Mike's the best. Hey, Mike, listen, my mother, like, she's not feeling good. She's in the hospital. Really? That's terrible. Hey, look at this reel.
So,
Right back
yeah,
to business.
I always said it. You know, Jake reached out to me. He knew my page was like shut down. And could you imagine, like, you built yours, you just hit 100,000.
I'd
right?
be fucking heartbroken. Dude.
Imagine
That's
you
why
wake up and it's gone, and you're like,
I
and
know.
you're going to
That's why I
create
reached
another
out to
page.
you.
It's
It'd be like if your fucking kid died, dude. I reached out to you. I'm like, dude, are you okay, Mike? Like,
It
I'm
is. It's
fucking.
so true.
It really is, dude. That's why.
Start a new page and you're looking, you're like, I'm at 1,000 followers. You know, you're looking at it like, I'm gonna hit 500,000, right? And all of a sudden you're like, I'm at 1,000. 2 months later, 2,800. You're like, it's like
It takes a lot of work rebuilding because when you're building the first one, you probably don't really notice because you're all new to it and stuff. But then when you have to do it again, it probably feels slower.
Oh,
like
after
anything.
you're already there?
I mean, when you're that big, it's like losing a business, though. I mean,
yeah,
damn, bro.
yeah,
That's why I
it's
said it's
not
like losing a
funny,
kid.
yeah.
It's like you're gonna be like, oh my god, not like losing a kid.
And you know what's even worse than that? Is there's people out there like,
Well,
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
someone
Better
actually
reporting
took
all
their
your
time
posts.
to
They're
do
pumped.
that.
they report and everything.
Like if you don't like
complaining.
content, why can't I always say that the internet is infinite. Like you could probably find things that you actually like to watch.
yeah.
Why are you watching my stuff that you don't like and just to report it and all
you
that?
know- you know what's
Makes no
crazy?
sense.
They
Just
don't like
fuck off.
themselves.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
The craziest thing is like I start this other page. So then after 2 months, I get in my other page. So I have both, but one of them's like highly restricted. Nothing can go viral. You can't search me. You can't find me. So like I'll get
Shadow
on-
ban.
I'll get shadow banned and other things too. So I get on this page, and then someone will put a fucking comment like, just some crazy fucking comment, nothing too hot or whatever. I'm like, all right, something. Then I look, they're not following me, right? And I'll go to block them. I'll go on my other page and search that name, and they're already blocked on that one. So it's like, this motherfucker,
Yeah.
this is the enemy, this is the guy that doesn't follow me, but just constantly going on my page.
Just wants to see you down in the
reporting
fucking dumps
Yeah, and
and-
then it's like,
No.
like, who are these people?
Yeah, they hardly do it from an account with their actual name or
Yeah,
photo
don't
though.
have
It's
the
all
big-
it's all
once a-
anonymous.
what
man.
happened to
It's
the-
Once in a
it's
great
like dropping a
while, it'll
note.
be
You know what I
someone.
mean?
What
Dropping
happened
an
to the
anonymous
good-
note in the sick call.
What happened to the-
Yeah.
What
Come on,
happened to
stand behind it.
What
Yeah.
happened to the good old days of just knocking on someone's door and fucking fighting them in the street? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people just do shit behind keyboards. It's just fucking weird. I never.
It's the same mentality as calling the cops on someone. You know
It's
what I mean?
true.
Making a phone call and saying, hey, this guy B. Luke across from me, I see a lot of people out of the driveway all night long, you know? Or whatever, you know? I think
They
he's
got this
doing
false
fucking
sense of
stool
security,
pigeons,
though.
dude.
It's a small world. Yeah, it's the internet, but especially out here, man, it's these streets are small out here,
Yeah.
man. You never know.
You never know who you're gonna
like,
run
especially
into.
us. We have that public face. People know us, but we may not know them. So sometimes, like, I got like a message once. Hey, were you here last night? Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but it's weird though. You know, you gotta
yeah.
kind of always be on your toes. That's why I'm
never know
done
who
kind
you-
of engage. Like I used to get caught up in the engaging and call them out, but next thing I know, I get what sucker punched in public
and
or
then,
something.
and then a lot of them, like
Like,
you said,
I
they're
don't
a
know.
fake
People are
name. They're just
crazy.
trolling you. They
Yeah.
want you to answer.
Yeah,
They go back.
exactly.
They'll even say, what do you? Oh, that comment got to you.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
I'm not.
Yeah, then they're just gonna, if they know something bothers you, they're just gonna keep trying
Yeah.
to fucking throw
I'm
it
like
at
a
you.
one and done. You're lucky you get one reply and that's about it. You can argue with yourself the rest of the night, bro.
So I was telling Jake, me and Jake talked for about an hour yesterday, and I was just saying that when people kind of do that stuff to me, I'm just like oblivious to it. I don't even register because it just puts power in somebody
Yeah, it
else's
does.
hands. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If you just ignore it like it never happened,
They have
they
no
like
power
tap you on
over
the shoulder,
you.
like, hey. Didn't you see? Hey,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just nothing. You know what I'm saying? No response, no nothing. That's it. And I think that, it just kind of takes the power out of somebody's hands.
Well, they probably get no
1000%.
attention in their real life, so that's their way of getting some sort of attention.
And when you do
Everybody-
this
people are
type of
attention
stuff, you're
seekers.
opening yourself up to
Yeah.
this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
When you
yeah.
put your profile on Instagram and you're putting your stuff out there,
You gotta
and
take
you're
the
putting
bad with
this,
the
you're
good.
putting that, you're doing that.
And especially my content.
It's like going to a Celtics
Right,
game
right,
and
right.
walking out in the middle of the game. Everybody's watching. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everybody in that place is gonna be looking at you as soon as
Yeah.
you step in the middle of the court. You know,
And
it's
that's
just
what
how it
sucks
is.
about me too. Like, having a lot of followers. When my shit, I'm out in the street every day and I'm seeing stuff, right? So no matter who it is, before I was on Snapchat, you see some guy in Home Depot picking his nose. Now I'm like, I'm zooming in on him, like, look at this guy digging for pick a winner, buddy. And then it's 5 minutes later, hey, that's my father. It's like, no, because people are sending my shit
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
no matter what I do, and it happened last week. This lady called the police on me. We were plowing some snow, and guy I was with parked his truck in front of her driveway, and she's like, move the truck. Now, this happens before I get there, so I don't know. There's already a little bit of an argument. And he's like, lady, are you leaving? She goes, no, I'm not, but I don't want you blocking the driveway. And he was kind of like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if she goes to leave, so she calls the police. So I'm like, oh, the old cop caller. I'm zooming in on her face. She's like a Boricua, you know what I mean? She's yelling at something in Spanish, right?
She's like fucking 80.
So she's,
Ratata.
hey, then afterwards I'm getting these calls. You put a video on my mother, take it down, or we can meet and handle this like men. So I call the number back, right? Now, I'm already made up my mind where if this dude like threatens me, then it's like, no.
Yeah, not
I'm not, right? So it's this Spanish kid. He goes, hey, I'm looking for, Mike Lee or Beanshooter. I go, you're talking to him. He goes, hey, man, you put a video on my mother, right? And right before I'm scrolling through the comments, and they were so bad on the mother that I actually screen recorded all the comments in case I delete the post, right?
Yeah.
In
'Cause it's
case
just
it
funny
comes
as
to
shit,
that,
like-
I just want to have these, and
Yeah.
it was like, look at
my
her, she
God.
hasn't had any in 2 years. Beanshooter,
yeah.
go give her the fucking, go
get her the
yeah,
skin
look
sausage.
at her, and they just slaughtered her. And he goes, you know what, dude? I'm not even mad at you. I understand what you do, but dude, the comments. It's my mom, and I'm like,
Yeah.
say no more, dude.
Dude, understandable.
I'm gonna take the post.
Lowell,
down, you know
Lowell
what
is
I mean?
fucking crazy, dude. I was in Lowell last week and it was fucking Looney Tunes. Like, I don't even think it's a real place. Some guy jumped off a fucking roof at that gas station.
Yeah,
that happened.
yeah,
like,
right there.
Bro,
Jay's right.
fucking Looney Tunes.
Looney
I've never
Tunes.
like hung
I
out in
love
Lowell
it.
like that, and I was like walking around. I was like, wow, this place is a fucking shithole. No offense, it's just crazy
city.
over there, you know, dude. It's crazy. It's like a movie. I felt like I was on an episode of The Fucking Wire, standing at that gas station. I'm like,
Poor Johnny from hanging around with me. Two things. We do a podcast. Some lady goes, oh, you're from Lowell. Then I went on Chat. Was it GPT?
Chat GPT, yeah.
Chat
Oh,
GPT. And I put in Beanshooter. I looked at it. I'm like, wow, it's a bunch of shit. Then I put in Johnny Bart, and it has the whole thing about the Hells Angels, 27 years in prison. It says, he's from Lowell, Massachusetts. I'm like, poor Johnny. You know what I mean? Like, he gets lumped in with like fucking
Birds of a
East
feather.
Boston guy. You know what I mean? He's from.
And then everybody was saying, Lowell, you're from Lowell. Yeah, East Lowell. That's what they said. So, yeah, I like that. East
Lowell
Lowell.
Street.
I've been
Yeah,
been a little
East
three
Lowell.
times in my life for the fucking clubhouse.
with this
probably.
guy.
Yeah. You were never in the clubhouse before?
Yeah, I was there
Back in
a
the day?
handful of times back in the day.
Hells
yeah.
Angels had a clubhouse. Well, they still do.
Still do, right
yeah.
up there?
Carter Ave, yeah.
Yeah, we seen some guys at the fights with the gloves.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple guys up there.
I told you before, two friends of mine grew up in the house right next door, and one of them actually pulled a shotgun. It was like this old shotgun. It was like broken, like pointed at some of them. And he was like 15. He was this fucking kid was a little mental case. Like, I think they took it off him and like, kid, come on.
they just took it away like a BB gun. They took it like a BB gun. Like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah,
dude.
just snatched it off. And
Oh,
they're
my
like, don't make
God.
me tell your mother, Shane. You know what I mean? Like,
Small
and
town
that's-
politics,
And
dude.
you're talking
Yeah.
82, 83 when.
Right. No, know when the
It
guys
was-
were serious.
Yeah, it was a totally
different animal.
totally different time then. Those guys, not that they're not now. You're always going to have your share of dangerous guys, but I feel like everything was a lot
I
different.
feel
then.
the same way for sure.
Nobody had cell phones and cameras.
Yeah.
Just everything. You know how it is.
I remember the first time I got out, I was at that halfway house on Huntington Ave
Yeah.
on Coolidge House, across the street from the YMCA, and I'm walking down the street, and there's a CVS, and I was just like fresh out. I'm talking like 2 days out. I remember there was a fight like on the street, and I was like, wow, people still get into fights. But listen, but I was like, because you always hear like, all this stuff about, how
everybody
bad
should-
society is, people just this and that, blah, blah, blah. But then I seen it. I seen like 3 or 4 cars come up. I thought they were like undercover detective cars.
Yeah.
But people just got out and started with the
Started
cameras.
filming.
They just started filming. And I'm like, oh, like there was like 4 people. I was like, wow.
This is how it is
wild.
now.
Johnny,
Everybody's
that was
getting
me.
evidence for the man.
Johnny,
That was
and
me.
that person was me.
Before but these people
Come to
look like
find
they were
out.
more like, kind of like nosy people.
How long you been out now?
So August will make 2 years.
Hey.
Imagine.
Congratulations, bro.
Imagine, Mike.
August what?
August 28th.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Unbelievable. And John, one of the biggest things, it's kind of a mystery with you. I know a lot about you, but I don't know this. I don't know how you keep a tan throughout the winter.
I just went tanning.
Did you?
I was in LA. I was in LA, but I got a tan today.
The biggest
I
thing
thought he
with
was
him,
Sicilian.
when he had that ankle bracelet on, it killed him when he took that thing off.
I had
With the tan line?
But I said, this is the worst thing that happened to me. In the whole 27 years, I ain't getting out. Look at this tan line.
I love how
made a
you're
little
using
bit-
it.
Of course, and then, listen, this is going to shock everybody,
Yeah.
but Mike made a video of it. I mean, it's just shocking. Because Mike
very shocking.
seldom has his phone in his hand.
Yeah.
Everybody always says, like, when your car got towed, he said,
Ika!
people were like, did he really get you like that? I'm like, yeah, he got me. Because Mike always gives me a rhetorical question. When my car got towed, he was like, did they tow it? Like, feeding interest. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
No,
I'm
they
like,
pushed it.
no, I'm like, no, yeah, Mike.
It was right
It
here.
was right there. And then I looked at him with the
Fucking
camera.
disappeared.
All right. No, he cut that part out.
It's
though, but-
quick draw McGraw
Nah,
right here,
you
man.
got him. I got him
I
a few
always
times,
forget,
though.
man, until I'm like, oh, damn, I should have pulled my
Yeah, me
phone
and you.
out.
So I just got through doing the bounce back with Bobby, right? So
I'm on there soon.
5 seconds when 5 seconds. Well, like Mike's down the street and he sends me a video, and Bobby's like, "That's right there. That's 2 doors away from me." I'm like, this guy always got the
Yeah,
camera,
that
and it was a guy
Tony.
getting
Poor
gaffeled up. It
Tony.
was
Yeah,
serious
the guy was
shit
getting
too.
arrested, yeah.
Yeah, Tony was loitering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking poor Tony.
know.
Tony's brother found that video. He's commenting all over it now.
That's
That's
great.
my brother.
No, but I love
For real?
even in the
Yeah,
2
yeah.
years how you're like
I believe it.
inspiring everybody and people are reposting everything. It's huge, man. It's like people are seeing that you're like a relatable guy and stuff, and they're trying to do the right thing, and it's fucking
I
awesome.
love
man.
Jake Scali. He said like this. He goes, Johnny Bartolomeo, man of the year.
He's the fucking
Hey,
man. No, he
guy.
really is, dude. He's the
Be
fucking
feeling
man.
like
I
the
love
man of the
Jake.
year.
Now, what about the
inspiring.
fights? The fights were
fights
cool
were
the other
fucking
night,
dope.
right? UFC
Hey,
fights.
First time
thank
ever
you, by the
watching.
way. First time I ever been to anything
Yeah,
live.
I mean,
Any live fight. I
You
mean,
gotta
not
hang
any
out with this guy. That's all we
sporting
do is
event,
go
but
to
any
shit.
That was so
boxing,
cool.
MMA.
Really?
Yeah, first time. So
Yeah, Jake
you
had
guys
a
popped my
link.
cherry. You popped
I
my
loved
cherry.
it.
Jake had a link. I had a link. And then we'll get Bobby. You had a link last time too, but
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, I got a couple
you
people
know,
already asked when the
late.
next one is. So you know what I
They
mean?
got over too late
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like-
Nah, it was fucking awesome.
See,
though.
when
I
me
know.
and Mike go somewhere, like everybody wants to sit down. Me and Mike want to walk around.
Yeah.
That's how it's the ADHD.
Yeah, I
have
wanna
ADHD.
walk.
I
I
went to
like
sporting
to-
events. I went to Super Bowls. I walked around if I can watch it on the TV.
That's
walk
awesome.
around, go in, see it. I can't.
We just had that U Lowell game the other night. And
Yeah,
we
that
just
was awesome.
walked around.
Looked
I love it.
The next morning, I'm in the Owl Diner, and there was 4 kids, all UMass little hockey things on. Like, Beanshooter.
Oh, yeah.
I said, you almost wrapped it around. They almost tucked it in.
I
Die in
know.
the end. Oh, it was so
I can't.
close.
I don't know how they missed. We
Yeah.
thought it was a goal.
Yeah, 100%. But I'll tell you, I got there and we scored. We saw like
2
4
goals right in a row.
Yeah,
Nice.
2 in a by
Right when
UMass
Mike
Lowell
got
to
there.
tie it.
Now,
And
this is
then-
going to shock
Office
everybody
Bay.
else that
And
Mike
4
had his camera out,
Yeah, yeah.
but he was late too. I'm saying that's shocking. He was here early today. I was like, are you serious?
You guys
Yeah,
said 2.
so-
You were right outside. I was
So
like,
I
oh,
tell
shit,
Johnny to
everyone's
meet
here.
me. The game's at 6, and I knew some kids wrestling in a
Those
tournament.
kids, the goats, though.
Oh,
Those kids are
Tilsley
nasty.
brothers, Shawshank Tech. They won the team title too. Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. Sid 4 years in a row. James won again. Just fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
These kids, they're unbelievable. And Thomas Brown out of Chelmsford won the heavyweight again. They'll be going to the nationals. All of them. They're fucking unreal. There's great kids too. Not only great athletes, but just real good kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was talking to their father, and I'm like, yeah, we got to get some of your sperm in a cup so I can inseminate my kids.
I want fucking hockey players.
He's like, listen, it ain't me. I married. He goes, my wife was like a track and field star. Like just unbelievable hurdle, sprint. He goes, I was just a crazy one.
Yeah,
he goes, so they got
Nice.
me and
they got the
her.
crazy gene and the good athlete.
Can't get her sperm.
That's half the Charlestown kids.
Yeah.
They come out with a pistol and a hockey stick.
No, it's true. It's fucking crazy. I knew kids that were great at hockey, everything, and they go that road. You know, it's just is what
No
it is.
question.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you see kids like in the
Wasted
city that
talent.
were just natural talent, and they get on that road.
Squander it.
You guys watched the Tank fight too? Javante Davis?
I missed it.
I missed
Yeah, I
it
didn't
too.
see it.
Oh, pretty controversial.
Goodman watching. How was the Tank Davis fight, Mark?
I like Tank
Controversial.
I thought that the kid might have won.
Yeah,
Really?
It's controversial. He put he probably should have lost, I think.
Tank just destroys people with that uppercut.
Yeah, he's a vicious. He's
It was a
vicious little
majority
fucker, dude.
majority draw. Two
I know
draws.
a draw too. Like
Yeah, and then one had the other guy winning.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
Yeah, he's a vicious little fuck, dude. He could fight.
but yeah, so what happened is what happened too. What's real controversial is Tank took a knee, and they didn't count it as a something in his eye. Took a knee, which is usually counts as a knockdown.
Yeah.
Ref didn't score it that way, so that probably would have been the difference right there. But I don't know if you did see it, but yeah, controversial.
Tank took
glove
Javante
rubbing
Davis
off
is
your
a
eye
fucking
gets
animal,
you.
isn't he? He's
So
an
Shakur
animal.
Stevenson
beast.
might be looking at licking his chops now.
Yeah,
man.
he was talking shit about him, right? 'Cause the last fight he had, he fucking he
But that's
tags him.
his one blemish right there, a draw. I don't know. We'll see.
So
love that shit.
Golden Gloves finals this
When?
This Thursday in Lowell. That's it.
Oh, we're going.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be
gotta
there
go.
for sure.
Come
Oh,
down,
nice.
check it out.
Yeah,
Thursday?
definitely.
Yeah.
We'll all
That's
go.
so the Gloves are in Lowell every year, but they have different, like they got New Bedford, they got Holyoke, they got
Okay.
different areas. So the winners of all them always come down and fight in the Lowell, so they're the finals. So there's
Oh, yeah.
there's
When
always
is it?
some good fights.
This Thursday night.
What time? What time?
I'll go.
It starts at 7, goes
All
to
right.
about 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
I remember.
Mike
a few-
knows
I think I got
somebody-
an interview,
you-
but I can shoot there after.
You can park some. Mike's got parking right there. He's just park right on the sidewalk. Leave the car running.
They probably have a fucking door to the place if it's
This
in Lowell
kid
that says
is
Beanshooter.
nuts,
It's his
bro.
own fucking
I
special
mean, it's
door.
$2. It cost me $2 for the meter today. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I was thinking
Mike,
about.
listen,
we're probably
I didn't
gonna
even
take it
feed
right
the
now.
fucking thing, dude.
you got to
It's
put it
out
on.
at 3:30.
Add on the phone. Add. Go to the.
No, but you only got
Where is it?
You can't
Go to
just
the
keep
app,
adding
yeah.
though. I think you only got a 2-hour max. You
No,
gotta find a
I
different
just
zone.
added $2.
I
What's
didn't
the
even
app?
feed the
Alright.
fucking thing. Is it bad over here? The pot?
Nah, it's.
I don't think I've ever gotten bothered in
Passport,
Revere.
yeah.
Usually Boston's the worst. They fucking drive around looking for people. These guys don't give a
I'm
fuck.
good till 4:47, Mike.
3:53, new session.
So Jake, what's up? What's up next for you?
I just want to do more of the recovery stuff, dude. If I could help Noah, I want to take the course that I'm doing with him and try to help more people and reach more people. Maybe talk to Eddie about getting a bigger group going that I can instill my shit into people and try to help them more one-on-one individually, you know?
What's up for Danny?
Danny, I just want to keep doing fucking. I just want to keep
When we
making
go
the
on the
magic.
Banana Kid?
Dude, I'm down whenever. My girl's gonna kill me, but I'm gonna fucking do it. She's not gonna like that I'm going with him. She doesn't like when I'm around
Hold on, wait a
Beanshooter.
minute. Somebody's girlfriend don't like Beanshooter?
Yeah,
no.
she's like, she'll probably think I'm on the next fucking overnight flight to Colombia or something. About to go get fucking gonorrhea in the jungle.
You're definitely one of those guys. You either love him or you hate him,
I got
right?
the
You know,
kid.
some
No, we
people,
love
some
him,
people
but
are
Yeah,
like
we
everybody
love
that.
has
You
him.
know?
He's a man's man, dude.
Yeah.
The girls don't like that. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not
What do you
saying-
do?
Make it
So
happen.
how does that label sit with you all the time? Like what? Is there any girls that actually do like you? Guys, girls?
Hey, listen, there's a few. And when
Yeah.
you
put it like
and when
that.
a girl goes, I follow you, I love you, I go, you know what? I fucking love you. I gotta
Yeah.
follow you back.
I'll follow you
Because
back.
you're a real one. Because you look at my followers, it's like 94.6% men from the age of 18 to 35.
I know.
Like it's this crazy demographic thing, you know?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of girls that like me. As far as friends, girlfriends liking me,
Not so
Yeah.
much.
We had a little
few
hesitant.
and far between.
You're the forbidden fruit.
Few and far
Deep
between.
down
Where do
they
you
want
want to
you.
go with them? You know what I mean? They're all fucking, yeah.
Thank God I don't
happens.
have a girlfriend, Mike.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
just
exactly.
fucking walk in and
I
you're
gave
lucky,
Johnny
dude.
specific instructions when you get out. Johnny, you cannot have a girlfriend.
He gave me
Don't
other
do it.
instructions too. I go, Mike, I was thinking. He goes, don't think. So he told me, like, I don't think.
I
no
go,
more.
listen, I go, leave that to me. I'll do the thinking around
I'll
here.
tell the jokes and I'll do the thinking. All right, Mike, I got you.
I love how you guys support each other, though, dude. That's awesome. You guys really are like my favorite fucking duo on the internet. Like he supports all your shit.
Batman
You
and
support-
Robin, man.
No,
Yeah.
seriously.
And
you
Batman
guys
and
are
Superman,
Batman.
more
And
like
you
it.
know
Yeah.
what? It really should be like this with all Boston content creators. But some people, their heads get big. Or, different people.
Ego and all that.
But everyone really, because Boston's so small.
It has to
and
be
we
that
all
way,
do
yeah.
know each other. Like even if
Look
me
at
and you,
this.
we first
This is
met,
nice.
right? We didn't know each other, but we knew each other.
He knows my family.
Just-
he knows my whole family.
I do know his whole
And
family.
just like
Well,
him, me
half
and
of it.
Jake, right? We knew each other.
Yeah.
But we hadn't met until we
Just
met.
always
for
talking,
months
sending
ago.
voice memos,
But
messages. I was like, I fucking
it's-
love this guy. I didn't even meet him. I was like, this dude's the man.
So I reached out to Jake and I asked him to come up to Ian's studio. You know what I'm saying?
I was
and then
there.
while we were at Ian's studio that day, we talked about Bobby.
I should have rifled Ian with a body shot while I was there.
Yeah, get it out of your system.
I wish I knew. I didn't even know all that tension was going on. I was upstairs while you guys were recording.
Yeah, so let's talk
believe
about
he
that.
had him
Let's
on?
talk-
Do
let's
you
talk-
believe he
let's-
had him on? He
So-
had that shot.
That little
Listen,
Derek
so
Ginger
now
midget
let's
fuckface
get
retard.
everybody's perspective here. So this will be a continuation of now we're not even going to say the guy's name. Everybody knows the issue, right? But so what do you think about that?
I
You
think
know
that-
what we're talking about? Bill?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
right.
I think that guy's a fucking moron, dude. Like, first of all, I have family that he knows too that's like actually in fucking Winter Hill and all that stuff. That everybody that fucking is in that life is gonna tell you that kid's a fucking moron, dude. He's just making these books and everything about something he never did, and he's a fucking fraud. Anybody that was actually about that life, like whether it's my family or people I grew up with, anybody could see that guy and just spot it the fuck out.
So how do you feel about somebody with a legitimate podcast? The guy's got like 350,000 followers. I did something with him, got almost 400,000 views on it. So the guy's got a serious platform.
YouTube,
what do you
too, that
think
many
about
views, which is crazy.
him having the guy on? I'm saying, what are your feelings about that?
I mean, I think he's probably just doing it for content, like trying to stir up a beef. Beanshooter fucking nuked that guy, dude. Like on Instagram, that guy, dude, he
Right.
fucking destroyed it. But
Right.
it's right. It's like don't lie about what you do. But I think Ian was just trying to make fucking content out of it. Stir up the fucking pot a little bit, instigating a little bit, which it's just
But
is
he
what it
didn't
is.
ask
People-
about anything.
That's
So
the one. That's the
so
one
he
thing.
did, he
But
wasn't.
so go ahead.
But having him on there, some people stuff happens, and
Just
people do.
just you figured it would stir up people putting comments, just that attraction. That's why.
Because it was like right
after.
after. It was like right after. But I'm just real about you, like how
Yeah.
I see it. It was like he did it right after. I
But-
like
but,
Ian.
But
It's not.
Mike's upset about it. So
Yeah.
my position is then we'll go to Bobby. I mean, Bobby's got a podcast, right? So he
One of the best.
He's
So
got.
let me
ahead.
interject something here.
I like
Bobby-
that word. Nice.
And the
Bobby
like a gent.
interviewed some fucking clown who was going outside my friend Frankie's restaurant, Monica's, and putting stuff on the ground, and he was that crazy.
I know who you're talking about. I remember
wouldn't
that.
say
I
his
remember the
name
whole-
either,
yeah,
too,
I remember the whole thing.
He
Yeah,
was
why?
a wacko, and he somehow told Bobby he was like this mob guy, and he's on there talking about Omerta, and I called Bobby. I didn't know Bobby that good, and I just said, hey, just so you know, this guy's a complete fraud. He's a clown.
He's
This
full
and
of
that. I think
shit.
You yanked it, right? You didn't even.
Yeah, I didn't put it up.
Yeah, he didn't put it up. And like I was in there with Ian. We're like, he goes, oh, you know that guy? I'm like, yeah, guy's a complete fucking fraud. I pulled his card. I said the thing. He goes, oh, he called me today trying to get me on. And then when he put it on, he goes, oh, I'd already booked him. And I'm like, I mean, that's not. It's not
But
what
you know
said
why?
when we were here. You know what I
feel
mean?
like I feel like that like we're protective of that shit because we all know guys that really did that stuff
Yeah.
and they're not getting the recognition. People aren't fucking giving them money for their books and shit.
Yeah.
And then you got some fucking asshole like
Yeah,
this
that
who
gets a
did
major book deal.
absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. He's got a
Fraud.
fucking book deal and all this stuff. Like it's fucking. But we have to call these people out because fucking some kid in Tennessee in a fucking cornfield or something is gonna see this guy and think he's the real
Right.
deal. And he doesn't fucking represent any of us, dude. He's a fucking moron.
It's
Right.
like people will say stuff like the guy Eddie McKenzie, right? He wasn't all that. He wrote a book. He wasn't even, wasn't even from South, whatever it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I read that
He
book.
pumped himself more than he was. But you know what? He was like a knock-around guy. He was like in the life, whatever.
He was involved. Yeah.
Red
Yeah.
Shea, another
He
one.
embellished.
Yeah, Red Shea, another one. Stand-up guy, got caught up in that thing, did his time. Like if he wants to come and write books, this and that. Hey, yeah. I mean, he was involved in that crew. He got pinched. He did a bid and stood up. And then you got this guy who's a nobody.
Yeah,
Never
no.
did
Get
nothing.
some fucking $60,000.
How, though? That's
Almost
what I
turns into
wanna
a
know.
movie.
How?
Like, hey, look, give it to these guys. Give it a fucking Red. Give it to someone who's actually
Right.
who's actually done something. Like, yeah, people can say, oh, you weren't really, buddies or what, or whatever. He's in the
Right.
conversation.
Right.
He was in that crew. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know what he
Right.
what
But all
exactly
the
what
shit-
he was doing, but he was doing enough to get caught up in it and do a bid.
All the stuff he's saying he did, he's fucking way younger than Whitey Bulge.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the fucking math
Yeah, we
just
already
doesn't
know.
really add up with
So,
that, you
but
know.
my only thing is so Ian's like my guy, you know what I'm saying? He was my connect. I connected Ian with everybody, and you know because a guy
we liked him right away.
and
I
a
liked
guy
him.
I
Travis,
like Ian. He told me I love Ian, dude.
Travis Cullen is the one that introduced me to him. Travis is a guy that's hooked up with the Teamsters, and he's trying to, you know, free all the cannabis prisoners. Anybody
I've
with a
heard the
pot
name. I know
case.
you're talking
So the
about.
kid's a good kid. But my only thing would have been, I mean, me personally, right? So when I talk about things subjectively, like what I would do, so I don't expect everybody to do what I would do anyway, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, what I would have liked to see happen was just one question would have said, hey, there's a guy named Beanshooter from Lowell, from Boston, however you want to call it, you know, from New England, that says, hey, check this out. This guy is a fraud. What do you have to say to that? It's like when,
Nice.
and I talked about this other guy, Wes Watson.
Yeah.
The first thing I said to him, because Wes Watson's this guy that's, you know, got a lot of content, been in prison, said he was a shot caller, whatever. He was in the California state system. I don't really know. I can't do a fact check on the guy because I'm a federal prisoner and I know people in the feds. But
Just
the
whole
first
different
thing,
game.
First thing I asked him was when I met him, you know, and I was like, hey, a lot of people I've heard things about that you were a fraud, that you weren't really in the penitentiaries. And he was like, you know, the people are just hating, whatever. But I just asked him that question, and I just put it to him, you know, saying, hey,
You're
this is
real
what I
about it.
heard. You know
Being
what I'm
genuine.
saying? And I don't know if it's true or false, but it was the first thing. So I would have liked to see Ian say, hey, there's a guy that put you out there. Is that true? What do you got to say about it? That's it.
Yeah, no one talked about. He didn't
That's
talk
it.
about it or anything.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah.
So, but that's the whole thing. I love Ian. You know what I'm saying? We're here as a result of him.
A
today,
lot
you know
of
what I'm
people,
saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
Me
No, I
too.
love Ian.
Me
He's
too.
that-
I like him. I'm not gonna lie. That, you know, but a lot of people said to me, I watched that whole fucking interview thinking you were gonna come out. At the
I
end,
know.
or he was
Yeah.
gonna sandbag him.
Right.
Or he was gonna
Right.
say, and we said
But
that
that's
to him.
not
yeah.
the kid's
We said-
style either.
No,
though.
I know.
That kid's not. That's no, he's not going to jeopardize. Come on, there's nobody going to come out confront. I don't
No,
even. I
I
don't
know.
want to confront the
But
guy.
at least say
No,
something.
but
But at least say something.
Yes,
It's like what
definitely
you
say
said, bro,
something.
about putting yourself out there, that people are going to make these comments. He put himself out there. He's a fucking fraud, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
fucking shut him down. It is what
All
it
right.
is,
So
bro.
B. Luke.
What do you think?
I think, yeah, he should at least brought up the question. You know what I mean? He didn't have to follow through or press him hard on it. You know what I mean? But if it's something that he knew about, I don't see, you know, why not? At least
What would you
bring
have
it
done
up.
in that situation?
He wouldn't have had
So
him
if
on.
I know, but
I don't
say
think. I mean,
right.
I don't know.
So now, but Mike tells you in the 11th hour, hey, listen, this guy, for me, for instance, hey, you're having this guy Johnny on. I heard you having this guy Johnny on. This, and this about the guy. I pressed him. I'm not really sure if that story he's telling is true. Would you have at least would have said something?
Yeah.
Would you even had him on the show?
Yeah,
What would you?
I mean, I would have had him on the show if it wasn't no paperwork on him or anything like that. If I
Yeah,
already
so how
had
do
it,
you
if I
vet
already had
people?
it scheduled, I usually just have people kind of put me on through somebody that
Yeah.
I know is not
Everybody
going to send
knows
like
him,
a
yeah.
no one's going to send me some
Right.
clown. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
Usually,
right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't go looking people's records up and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I started with people that I knew personally,
Right.
and then pretty much, yeah, you know, I get have people that make recommendations,
When's
and I go by
Beanshooter
their
When's
word.
Beanshooter coming on?
It's an open invite. Whenever we could get him
What
in
about
there, he's a
Jake?
busy,
The thing
busy
that-
guy. I got Jake for the
Jake, when you coming?
I'm go.
I got him in. I don't want to say exactly when it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we're
don't
not
know
gonna
if
get-
people
we penciled it in.
looking for you.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
we're good to go. We're scheduled.
You never know. But that's
Jake-
that's the thing with like having like street guys or jail guys come on, because I
Right.
was gonna do it live at one
Right.
point, but some
Yeah.
people still have enemies, and it's all
Yeah, no,
very
100%.
in town. So I don't like to
100%,
drop the
yeah.
The thing that I don't
locations
understand though, and
everything.
I really like Ian, and this isn't like a shot or anything, but if he heard all the stuff you were saying and all that evidence and everything, his podcast is real. Like, he has a lot of real people on that show, and it's just gonna fucking saturate
Diminishes
it,
the-
and,
yeah.
it diminishes these people that really put in that work in the street.
you
It just
question
fucking
the next
tarnishes.
people on.
Yeah,
And
you gotta
like,
start
and like
questioning
I said
it.
to Johnny goes, hey, he had this fucking rat on. And it's like you, right? You know, it's hard to just all solid guys. It's not like if you're
Can't do
growing
it.
and this and that, it's almost
Can't do it.
impossible. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to interview some people where
Yeah.
they did stuff. But like I said to Johnny's like, well, he had on this guy who's a rat, told on was it the Hell's Angels
Yeah,
or something,
Guy
right?
Pee Wee, yeah.
I said, well, at least that guy did stuff.
Right.
stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
At
That
least
guy
he
was
was in
about
the
something
realm.
before
Yeah.
he was a piece of shit.
Right,
He was
like,
in
like,
the-
Sammy,
he was
like
in the
Sammy
realm
Bull,
of
like
mischief.
Sammy the Bull.
Right,
He's
yeah.
no good, but
Yeah,
he was.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
did
they
say
got
more.
him.
I can't
Guys
take
got
it.
some stories.
He was
you
in
know?
the realm of mischief. He wasn't on
right.
the sidelines.
Like
you
this
know?
guy just made everything up.
Wow.
It's all bull. He's
Listen,
fucking
I'll tell you
delusional.
one
Tip your
thing.
cap to
We
him,
got
I know,
we
yeah.
gotta give him kudos for that.
You think
Yeah.
he sits in the mirror and just rehearses all that shit,
No,
like for
I
his
think he goes
family? or
home. I
something?
think he goes home and sits on the couch and says to his girl, "Do you believe?"
Well,
No, yeah.
He
No,
talks
no,
all this
no,
medicine.
no.
He talks. Have you guys ever seen how fucking short he is, dude? He's literally fucking tiny.
No.
He makes
Yeah.
himself sound like the fucking Terminator.
Yeah,
He's up
yeah.
to my fucking chest. Yeah,
There was
crazy.
a croquet mallet in the closet, and I grabbed that and bludgeoned him to death and wrapped him in plastic. Like, what?
But hey, a
This guy
lot goes
just-
into making these podcasts and stuff and booking people. So I get where he's coming from too. You know, he's got it's a business for him too. You know what I mean? He's on a whole different level.
But
than-
like we talking to Matt
than me
earlier,
or-
who works with Ian. These guys got 60 fucking episodes in the can. These guys got so much stuff. Like you really don't.
Yeah, they stack.
It's not like
Right,
me. I'm like,
right.
fuck. I got to get somebody on this week. Hey,
Right,
fucking
right,
Johnny,
right,
you know
right.
somebody. Like,
Matt's
I'm
one of
last
the
second
Matt's one of
doing
the
it, but-
best. Like what he did. I think that he's fucking
Oh,
dude. He's
yeah,
a
these
one man
guys are-
army. Look at it. He fucking came in and said
The
all this
man,
shit. He's the
the
fucking
man with the plan.
Yeah, he's John Rambo in this
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
Matt, you didn't bring us any of those
homemade.
homemade donuts from that place?
Oh, you did promise
This guy,
those donuts.
this
should
guy,
have
listen,
bring some.
I
this
go
guy-
nuts for
those
donuts.
Those are
Matt
amazing,
came
huh?
down from
Great.
Connecticut today, and Beans shooter's looking for a fucking free
Yeah,
meal.
yeah,
Imagine
you
this.
know, I tried-
The fuck? Do something
What?
with this guy,
Donuts are
Goodman.
great.
Oh, you only get
That's
them when you
your
come
boy.
back. You only
I
get them when
fucking
you go
love
to
those
Connecticut. They're unreal. Fucking those donuts are phenomenal, huh?
But, hey man,
So good.
Fucking drive to Dallas to get
this
some
whole
donuts.
game's new
Take it off,
though,
Mark.
man. People
Mark
navigate.
Goodman,
All
love
right,
you, buddy.
brother.
Have a good one, buddy.
Oh, Mark, we'll call tomorrow. Accurate. That place in Everett,
Yeah.
all right?
We got
Yep.
you.
See you, buddy.
The John Gotti Auto Body.
Yeah, I'll talk to him when I leave.
But yeah, man. But the whole podcast and it's all new, man. Everybody's learning as they go anyway, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's all trial and error with anything you do with
Just
content
like-
related.
Bob, you were showing me how to do thumbnails today. Mike, listen, Mike Lee is
A little
behind.
Yeah, I don't even
Mike
do thumbnails
Lee
on my
is
shit.
behind.
Hey, that's
well, you
funny.
don't really have. You have.
Johnny, why don't you just run my Instagram?
So you-
Here, I'll give you a.
No, not the Instagram. That's yours.
You know what's funny? Sitting there, you know what's sitting there helping you with that? It reminded me of when I was in Concord, right? They had a GED program or a pre-GED program, and I was a tutor. You know what I mean? So I'm like a 20.
Upstairs where they do.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
but like looking back in the moment, I didn't really get it. But like looking back, I'm like, dude, I was like a 23-year-old kid sitting there with 55-year-old, you know, gangbangers, people convicted of murder, tattoos on their face, talking about, you know, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally and fractions and all
Right,
this
right.
stuff. You know what I
PEMDAS,
mean?
right,
And it's
yeah.
like looking back, I'm like, gotta love life and its randomness sometimes,
Yeah.
I guess, man.
Just gotta
But
love life.
Well, that's what
whenever
it
I
reminded
hear-
me.
When I hear Concord, I remember I was with this friend of mine, Paul Callahan, who he's a bank robber. Like, he gets out and robs 30 banks. You know, does 10 years, gets out, robs 20 banks, goes back. And the last time, and he did it again,
It's like you never know when to stop at that 19th.
I know,
one,
guys.
though.
They'll go forever.
What are you
dude. I don't
doing,
know how.
right? So we're in Concord, and he's just one of those people who's very funny, but never really laughing too much. Very dry sense of humor, but he just says stuff that I mean,
Like out of pocket, out of left field. You're like, what?
He's the best. So one time we're in the Jays and we're walking the chow hall outside, and we're like the only two white people. There's probably 100, 150 people, and we're in the middle, and there's a plane flying overhead like a little one of those fucking
Oh, puddle jumper?
So, yeah, like a little puddle jump flying over. So I look up, and it's not that high up. I go, I wonder if he knows this is a prison. And the kid Paul Callahan's got his hands in his jean jacket. He looks at me. He goes, "Well, I'm sure he doesn't think it's Roxbury Community College."
Good point.
So,
Good point.
it's fucking Callahan. I gotta write him a
love
letter. The poor. And last
Still
time
in?
he just went back like 2-3 years ago for a couple more banks. And the last time he got pinched, he called me up, and a friend of ours who was real good to him. And he's an older guy. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but he goes, I know he still goes visits him and sends him money. He's one of his best friends, and he goes, so and so talked to the feds, and I go, was it good? We're on the phone. He goes, is it ever good?
No, I was just giving him. I just ran in there and told him, hey, listen, it's sunny, 60 degrees outside, westerly breeze. It's nice. I'll talk to you later.
See you
Nobody
later.
runs in there for that, Mike.
Did they tow it again?
Talking about
Was it good?
the stupid
That's
question.
That was the rhetorical question, like you're saying.
Was it good?
Was
But I
it
just
good?
took a
Or
picture
ain't
of
it?
his friend, and he's still talking to
know.
him. I'm like, maybe he went in there for your defense, and it
Yeah, I
wasn't
know.
you or something. But
Maybe it went in there and said,
He
you
said-
got this guy all wrong.
Yeah. He said, is it ever good?
That's a very good answer.
Apparently
Very
not.
good answer. You know what they put? Get him. Go, Bobby.
No, I was just thinking how the airport is right there in Concord, Hanscom, I think. That's why it just came to my head. No, I'm
Yeah.
not serious.
No, but I was going to say that, I mean, you say you always put things in perspective, right? I mean, it's always a good day. So I went to jail in 96, right? And I did 27 years. My friend Kevin McTaggart went to jail in 86. and he called me collect today,
Holy
saying,
shit.
"Hey, what's up? What's going on?" I'm like, "Hey,
From
what's
Ohio?
going
Is he the one from Ohio?
on?" Yeah.
From Cincinnati or Cleveland or
Yeah,
something?
he's from Cleveland, Ohio, west
Yeah.
side of Cleveland. He had a organized crime case, Irish guy. Just
in
a
40
sweetheart.
years?
Best guy. Been in since '86. He's still in
Absurd
today.
amount of time.
Imagine
Wow.
getting up
Shit.
today,
Was-
this
is-
morning.
Is he a lifer? Is he in there for life?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he got a life sentence. Well, he got life without parole. But listen, this guy has so many connections too. That Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, of course.
I think I've heard the name.
He's a
Football player?
quarterback. He was a
University of
quarterback for the
Miami,
Browns.
Cleveland
yeah.
Browns.
Right.
Yeah.
Bernie
Kosar.
Kosar wrote a letter
See, we're
to the
all-
judge
Good.
saying that Kevin McTaggart can stay in my house if you let him out,
Holy shit.
and I'll be responsible for
Bernie
him.
Kosar's a legend.
So that's the kind of connections he got.
Got people at powerful places
Yeah,
that'll
but
co-sign
he
for
still
him.
can't get out of prison. But so just give me perspective today, right? I always say, where would I be right now, right? I always say, where would I be right now? Because if like life gets crazy a little bit, I'm like, this is I'm running, I'm doing this, getting pulled 8 different directions. I always say, where would I be right now in my prison routine, right? So it's a funny thing, like you said, like you have impact on people, right? So the guy I was hanging out with, the flesh mechanic in L.A.
Show me that
Can't
guy's
hate
awesome.
that.
The guy's the fucking
Can't
man.
hate
Sweetheart,
that.
he's the best, right? So I had talked to him, we hung out for a few days, we were walking, getting something to eat, just shooting the shit, and he showed me a picture. He got the tattoo on his leg. He says, "Where would you be right now?" Imagine that.
Fucking
Because
true.
I always say that. Where would you be right now? I say that's how I get
really?
perspective.
He had it on his leg.
He got the
that?
tattoo.
Oh, that's cool. I
Yeah.
thought he had it and you always
No,
did.
he got
No.
the tattoo.
No,
Yeah,
all right.
after I said it to him.
Fuck, I was going to get it.
Perspective, man.
What are the it's like, what are the fucking changes?
There's always somebody who got it
Yeah,
worse,
yeah.
man. There's
Al-
always somebody who would,
Always.
died, that would kill to be in your
Always.
position, and then there's other people who would
1000%.
probably rather kill themselves
here's
than
a-
to be in your
and
position.
here's a
It's
guy
just all
like,
perspective.
let him out, 40 years. They just let out Leonard Pelletier, you know who that is?
I mean, the craziest thing is, so I was with Leonard Peltier in Leavenworth.
Pelletier, I always say
Yeah,
Pelletier. 'cause his friend
Peltier.
Yeah.
But he gave me a red bandana. I don't know if I was telling you the story. Was I telling you the story? Or was I telling you the story?
Me.
But he gave me a red bandana.
Oh,
and
Reese, you were telling Reese the
only,
story.
Yeah, only the natives can have it. You know what I'm saying? So in prison, I had a red bandana, and I used to wear it all the time running, but I would take it off, and then I was getting transferred. I put it in my paperwork,
hide it.
and I still have it today.
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
tattered, and yeah,
So
it's
tell a
wild.
little
So
bit
that's
about
the story.
Leonard Peltier, his story. Because I knew all about that
So-
years ago.
I was
You know-
educated on it recently. I didn't even know. Fucking crazy
So what
story.
happened was
Yeah.
is they killed an FBI agent on a reservation. You know what I mean? So his position is that he was completely not guilty, never admitted to it, nor would he ever admit to it. And he was in jail for I think he just turned 80, and he was like 60 something years he was in prison for. But it was about the federal government being on native property, and they were protesting and. One thing led to another, and I'm not really too versed in the story, but I'll tell you one thing. You ever see the show Yellowstone?
Yeah.
In that Indian's office?
Yeah.
He's got a picture of Leonard Peltier in the back. It's a
I've seen
real
that.
picture.
I've seen that.
That's how wild.
So,
that's how
compassionate release. How did it? You said he just got out.
Biden on the way out.
Biden
Pardoned a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Presidential pardon.
He was on the
Well, I'll
list,
tell you
yeah.
one thing. If anybody deserved it,
Yeah.
I don't know. What I'm saying. They always say that I deserve what I get. I said if I got everything I deserved, I'd be dead a long
Yeah,
time
yeah,
ago. But
yeah.
I mean, it's nice for him, and I'm happy for him. And he's 80 years old, 80 something. He's up there saying, we're not done with this fight. We're still fighting. So he's a better man than I. You know what I'm saying? I want to go home and relax, right? He wants to still fight that fight. God bless him.
Yeah. Well, I
Just
always
all
say you
right.
don't get what you deserve, you get what you earn.
Yeah.
I know a lot of good people that deserve the best, but if they're not putting in the work, they're not gonna get it just for being a good person.
He's like
You know
a
what I mean?
huge
It goes the
hero.
other way too.
No, he's definitely
in
a
his
hero with
community,
those.
he's like a
With-
huge
with-
fucking
with
hero.
that
dude. To
segment
have
of
that love from
society-
your people is huge.
100%. I remember I was in Strago one day with Nicky, and he introduced me to a couple of guys that were, that he knows that were customers of his, and Nicky always prefaces, my friend just got out after 27 years, doing so good. Then they mentioned Leonard, and I told them that he was my friend, and I told them that story, and they were like, they stopped in their tracks. They were like, they
what?
didn't even want to eat no more. They were like, you know what I mean? So the guys,
The people you meet.
no, he's an icon for sure.
Yeah, the people you meet on
No.
your fucking journey through
No,
life,
100%.
whether it's,
Yeah. So listen, that's why this is. Listen, me and Iko were talking today that somebody. Yo, what's up, brother?
Good seeing you.
So me and Iko were talking today about a friend of ours that we were in prison with got bad news. He got colon cancer, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
So, and I always tell Mike, and I always tell, everybody. I tell my friend Gio all the time. It's just like, listen, wring this day dry, buddy. Be as happy as you can. Enjoy it to the fullest. Because one of these days you're going to get bad news, and you're going to look back on your life, and you're going to say, those problems I thought were problems, I didn't even have any.
Yeah.
But now it's too late to go enjoy life.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
Just enjoy it to the
It's
fullest.
funny you say that. I was talking to someone from Lowell. I hadn't spoke to in a while. A kid Tito from Lowell. He's a good kid, and we were talking about a friend of ours who got jammed up, and he's got a motion here, and if you don't get this motion here, and he's probably going to get 20 years. And he's a close friend. He already did a good one in the feds, and I'm like, wow, I'm 55. Like, if he does 20 years, what do you thought? I'm fucking 75.
No, you ain't yet.
Like,
Nah.
no, you know, you think
done.
like that now because he's a
Otherworld.
friend, right? And
fucking
and
sick.
he goes, even if he gets 15 years. Not only is it doing the time, you got to worry about making it out. You could get sick, you could get cancer. Like, I didn't even think of that stuff.
Yeah.
You think
And then
about
how do you
people dying
rebuild
when you're
your
in
life?
there.
You don't
Yeah.
think about that when you're a kid.
Yeah, imagine you get in there and you get some terminal disease. You're like, you're doing 20 years, you're in fucking.
No.
Get diabetes.
Yeah.
Then you're
Come on.
you're old at that
Get
point.
your
my
leg
little-
cut off
You
in
have
the
to lose your
joint.
toes.
Jeez.
Well, that's my
Yeah.
little
then-
brother who's doing a life bet. He's been a diabetic since, you know what I mean? And the healthcare in there, it's always an issue.
Yeah.
Always an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gets in trouble.
He's the one in
now
the
he's
hotel,
on,
right? I remember that.
Yeah, he
right?
can't.
I remember that case, yeah.
You get in trouble. You're on canteen restrictions. Now you can't buy food. Well, you're a diabetic. It's not that simple. He's got to keep his blood sugar at
Yeah.
certain levels and all that. But they don't give a fuck. about
Yeah,
that
you
shit,
see
man.
them, they start losing their toes.
Yeah, that's what he said.
feel
He-
like-
last time he been to Shirley, he's like, I'm seeing everybody here that was diabetics, bro, that I seen like, from years ago. They're all missing something, finger,
Yeah.
toe, or something.
Ugh.
He's you know,
Day at a
healthcare's
time,
horrible
man.
up
Enjoy
in
it.
there. Yeah.
I feel like too at that point you get out, you're a senior citizen. Like, how do you work and rebuild your life back
You
up,
don't.
make money?
Well,
Like, that's fucking hard.
Hold on, you calling me a senior citizen?
No, I'm saying for this guy. He's saying, no, he's saying if this 50-year-old got 15 years, like, what do you do that old? Like, how do you rebuild
No,
your
right,
life?
listen,
Like, it's
it's
fucking hard shit.
listen,
If you're fortunate
that's
like
real
Johnny,
shit.
you don't have to work like some people get out. They don't have friends, they don't have family, they don't have the support, and they're sitting there and they're getting on SSI or they're trying to, and they're getting a food stamp card,
Frustrated.
and they have
Yeah. You can
nobody
only
left.
imagine.
You know what I mean?
Nobody to
Yeah.
advocate
Struggling
for
to
them.
eat.
I couldn't,
Yeah, listen, I'm the worst case study. Don't look at me. I'm the worst case study you'll ever meet in your whole life for somebody just getting out of jail. But, I mean, listen, I like to think that it was a testament to why I went to jail. You know what I'm
But I
saying?
mean,
So-
you always say to me how grateful you are for everything you have, all the things your
Always.
friends do. It's not like you're one of those assholes that got out and you're just like, fucking give me all. You always like tell me how grateful you are for everything, and that's why I like you.
He's one of those rare things where he did the right thing. A lot of guys don't fucking, don't
Yeah.
rat or don't do nothing,
Right,
and
right.
fucking, people don't
Get
even
nothing.
Yeah, they
He's
get
stuck
nothing.
to the
They get
code.
nothing for it. But they can look themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
But he bit the bullet. He did the crime and he did the fucking time. But he also part of his plea deal, as it's known, where they'd stop prosecuting, his co-defendants. It would end with him and this and that. So, luckily when he got out, guys didn't forget that. You know what I mean? And he earned his, and now, he's reaping some of the benefits for being a good guy.
Absolutely.
yeah, it's a good life. I love this life.
I'm
a lot
looking
worse.
forward to
Could be
what
a-
the future
listen,
holds for you,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
You know what I
Ika.
mean?
He's gonna-
Like-
Jason Kalman, Ika Bach, one of the
Ika.
greatest fucking guys
the reason
around.
why we're hanging out.
Yeah, he's the reason I met you, and I love him for it. You know what I mean? I got to get Ika on my podcast. I don't
Yeah,
think he
definitely. We
wants
should. Let's do one.
I don't know. Yeah, let's
When you
do
wanna
it.
go down?
Ika, you'd say this week. You want to do one,
Yeah.
Ika? I know. Well, we won't get crazy. Yeah. He's the best. He coaches. Every time I call him, I'm at my kid's game. I'm at this for. I'm at the basketball game. I'm at the football game. I'm at the
And he
baseball
looks
game.
like Al Capone, too.
Yeah.
He says
Yeah.
dad first, man. He's a dad first.
He looks like Al Capone.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
You gotta be.
But I'm gonna wrap this one up.
That's it.